For many people over 60, walking has long been considered the gold standard of staying active. It's simple, gentle, and familiar. You don't need equipment or a gym membership, just a pair of shoes and a bit of motivation. Doctors, fitness trainers, and wellness magazines have praised walking for decades as the ultimate low-impact exercise for longevity. But as the body ages, its needs begin to shift in subtle but powerful ways that walking alone cannot always satisfy. The truth is that walking, while excellent for cardiovascular health and mental clarity, engages the body in a narrow range of movement. The same rhythm, the same stride, repeated thousands of times over the years. It strengthens the heart and improves blood flow, yes, but it doesn't challenge your muscles, bones, or balance in the way your daily life demands. Over time, this can leave certain muscles underused, joints stiff, and reflexes slower than before. When you're over 60, your body is no longer just looking for endurance, it's craving functionality. You need movement that supports standing up from a chair, bending to tie your shoes, reaching a shelf, turning quickly without losing balance. Walking doesn't fully train those multi-directional motions or the stability of your smaller support muscles. The hips, knees, and lower back may remain weak even when you walk several miles a day. Another overlooked factor is muscle mass. After 60, most adults lose roughly 3 to 5% of their muscle mass each decade, a process known as sarcopenia. Walking alone doesn't provide enough resistance to slow that decline. The leg muscles may stay active, but your arms, core, shoulders, and back receive almost no strengthening stimulus. The result? You might walk daily, yet still notice weaker grip strength, slower reflexes, or difficulty lifting light objects. Then comes posture. Years of walking without core engagement can allow the shoulders to slump and the back to round forward, compressing the lungs and digestive organs. This can contribute to shortness of breath, fatigue, and even discomfort after meals. Gentle strength and mobility training movements that intentionally engage the deep postural muscles can correct this. But walking, being largely a passive motion, rarely addresses it. Joint health is another crucial area where walking can't do everything. The repetitive impact of each step, especially on hard pavement, adds micro-stress to the knees, ankles, and hips. For individuals with arthritis, joint replacements, or cartilage wear that can become uncomfortable over time. Low-impact strength exercises, on the other hand, stabilize and protect those same joints by building stronger supportive tissue around them. Balance, too, begins to shift as we age. Inner ear sensitivity, vision changes, and slower nerve communication all combine to make balance a challenge. Walking keeps you upright, yes, but it doesn't train your stabilizers to react when you trip, turn suddenly, or step off an uneven surface. Functional movements that incorporate gentle shifts of weight, single-leg balance, or torso rotation retrain those reflexes and reduce fall risk, a benefit walking alone simply doesn't match. Circulation is another subtle but essential piece of the puzzle. Walking helps blood flow, but it primarily stimulates the lower body. Muscles in the upper body, the arms, shoulders, and chest remain passive. Over time, this can contribute to sluggish lymphatic drainage, poor shoulder mobility, or even tightness around the chest that affects breathing. When circulation is improved through simple resistance or stretching movements that involve the whole body, oxygen delivery increases, energy improves, and recovery from daily activities feels easier. And let's not forget flexibility. Most people associate flexibility with yoga or stretching, but maintaining supple joints and soft tissue is key to pain-free movement. Walking has a limited range of motion. Your hips swing, your knees bend, your ankles flex, but the angles never really change. Muscles shorten and tighten if they're not used through their full range. Targeted exercises that involve reaching, lifting, or gentle rotation restore the natural length and elasticity of muscle fibers, keeping you limber and pain-free. Another area that walking doesn't fully reach is coordination. The brain's connection to movement, its ability to recruit muscles in harmony, can fade with inactivity or repetition. Walking uses automatic patterns that the brain barely has to think about. To keep your mind sharp and reflexes responsive, you need movement variety, something that challenges coordination without strain. This could mean slow squats, controlled arm circles, or light resistance movements that ask your brain and body to work together. Bone health deserves its own mention. While walking is weight-bearing, its repetitive load is too mild to stimulate new bone growth after a certain point. Bones respond best to gentle, controlled stress, what surgeons and physical therapists call progressive loading. That means light resistance, subtle impact variation, and muscle engagement strong enough to tell the bones, stay dense, stay alive. Without that challenge, bones gradually lose density, increasing the risk of fractures. Even the cardiovascular benefits of walking have their ceiling. Once your body adapts to a daily walking routine, your heart no longer has to work as hard. You maintain what you've built, but you don't improve. Adding low-impact, muscle-engaging movements like heel raises or wall push-ups can increase your heart rate in short, safe bursts, improving endurance without stressing the joints. Then there's the mental component. Walking is wonderful for clearing the mind, but it can become automatic. Your brain drifts, your attention fades, and soon it's just another routine. But when you learn a new movement pattern, lifting your leg with precision, maintaining posture during a squat, holding balance on one foot, you engage the brain's motor centers. This type of neuromovement training has been shown to enhance cognitive sharpness and even reduce anxiety by restoring confidence in your body's ability to move freely. Finally, consider the way walking affects your recovery. Because it's a repetitive, linear movement, it doesn't prepare your muscles for the variety of motion that daily life demands, twisting to reach something, stepping sideways, kneeling, or getting up from the floor. Functional exercises that mimic those actions improve not just strength but resilience. They prepare your body for the unexpected, a sudden slip, a misstep, or a heavy door, and teach your joints to respond smoothly rather than stiffly. So while walking remains a beautiful daily ritual for maintaining heart health and emotional clarity, it shouldn't be the whole story for those over 60. The body now asks for something richer, more varied, and more intentional. Movement that strengthens from the inside out, that stabilizes as much as it mobilizes, that teaches balance, coordination, and control with every breath and every repetition. When you reach 60 and beyond, exercise is no longer just about burning calories or tightening muscles. It becomes a matter of maintaining independence, stability, and confidence in your own movement. Functional strength is the quiet foundation of that freedom. It's not about how much weight you can lift or how many miles you can walk. It's about whether you can carry your groceries without strain, step off a curb without losing balance, or get up from a chair without using your hands. These seemingly simple actions depend on a network of muscles working together in harmony, muscles that walking alone doesn't fully train. Functional strength means training your body to perform everyday tasks with ease. It involves controlled, purposeful movement that mimics life itself, standing, reaching, bending, lifting, turning. The body is a chain of interconnected systems, muscular, skeletal, and nervous, all designed to support fluid motion. As we age, that chain can weaken link by link. A hip that loses strength affects how the knee aligns. A weak core transfers more pressure to the spine. Shoulders stiffen, making simple things like reaching for a plate or zipping up a coat surprisingly difficult. These are not signs of inevitable decline. They are signals of imbalance, a call for functional training to restore cooperation between body parts. Walking, for all its benefits, is a linear and repetitive act. It moves the body forward in one direction only. But life demands rotation, bending, pulling, pushing, twisting. Functional exercises wake up the muscles that walking lets sleep, the glutes, the core stabilizers, the shoulders, and the upper back. These muscles are essential for balance, coordination, and fall prevention. Without them, even a simple misstep on an uneven path can lead to a fall that changes everything. A strong body after 60 doesn't mean a gym-built one. It means a body that moves efficiently. Imagine standing from a low seat without pushing on your knees, or walking up a short flight of stairs without holding the rail. Those moments of effortless motion are the result of functional strength. They come from training your muscles to coordinate, not just contract. Every muscle has a partner, every motion a counterbalance. Functional movement teaches them to communicate again, keeping you steady and agile. Another key part of functional strength is joint support. The joints are your hinges, the points where freedom of movement is born. With time, those hinges can lose lubrication and stability, especially around the knees, hips, and shoulders. Functional exercises target the muscles that surround and protect these joints, strengthening the ligaments and connective tissue that hold them together. When these supporting structures grow stronger, pain often decreases naturally because the pressure shifts from the joint itself to the muscles designed to bear it. Core strength is often misunderstood as just abdominal training, but the core is the entire center of your body: back, sides, abdomen, hips, and pelvis. This area stabilizes every movement, whether you're bending to tie your shoes or reaching to close a window. Without a strong core, balance falters. Functional movements like seated leg lifts, slow torso twists, or even standing marches with gentle control awaken these deep muscles. As they strengthen, you begin to move more confidently, with a posture that feels upright and effortless instead of stiff or slouched. Functional training also enhances what surgeons and rehabilitation specialists call proprioception, the body's ability to sense where it is in space. It's what keeps you balanced when the lights go out or when you step onto a slightly uneven floor. As we age, proprioception fades. But exercises that challenge your coordination, lifting one foot while reaching with the opposite hand, for instance, reignite those neural pathways. The brain learns to communicate more clearly with the body, reducing hesitation and improving reflexes that protect you from falls. Equally important is muscle endurance, the ability to maintain effort without fatigue. Walking may tire the legs, but functional movement distributes effort across the body. When you engage multiple muscle groups, your heart and lungs work in balance, and your energy lasts longer. Tasks like gardening, cleaning, or carrying laundry become less exhausting because your body knows how to recruit the right muscles at the right time. It's the difference between working hard and working smart. Functional strength training doesn't require complex equipment or heavy weights. A wall, a chair, or your own body weight is often enough. For example, a simple sit-to-stand movement mimics getting up from a chair and strengthens the thighs, hips, and glutes in unison. Wall push-ups activate the chest and shoulders without straining the joints. Heel raises build ankle stability for better balance. Each of these movements mirrors something you already do in daily life, only more controlled, more deliberate, more strengthening. From a medical standpoint, functional strength protects the skeletal system. When muscles grow weak, bones bear the brunt of movement. This increases wear and tear on cartilage and leads to faster degeneration in joints. But when muscles are engaged, they act like shock absorbers, distributing force evenly across the body. This simple principle, load sharing, can mean the difference between pain and freedom of movement. Over time, such exercises even stimulate bone growth by applying gentle tension that encourages bone cells to regenerate. That's why functional strength work is now prescribed as part of osteoporosis prevention programs. There's also a circulatory benefit. Functional exercises tend to involve full body engagement, which increases blood flow to areas that walking doesn't fully reach, such as the shoulders, arms, and upper spine. This improved circulation helps deliver oxygen and nutrients to tissues, accelerates healing, and supports a healthy immune response. Better circulation also means more warmth in the limbs and less stiffness when you wake up in the morning, and there's a psychological dimension. Functional strength training gives measurable feedback. You feel the change, standing taller, moving smoother, breathing easier. That feedback loop reinforces motivation. It's not about numbers or gym machines. It's about regaining control over your body, one small victory at a time. People who practice functional movement often report greater confidence walking outdoors, climbing stairs, or even dancing again because they trust their own strength. Functional training is not about intensity, it's about intention. Each movement is slow and mindful, often paired with steady breathing. This activates not only the muscles but also the parasympathetic nervous system, which calms the body and reduces stress hormones. Over time, that calm seeps into your posture, your breathing, and your day-to-day energy. You no longer move out of fear of falling or hurting yourself. You move out of strength, control, and ease. In short, Functional strength is the foundation of true independence. It's the ability to move freely, safely, and gracefully through life regardless of age. It preserves the joy of motion, the quiet satisfaction of bending, reaching, lifting, and standing without hesitation. It is the difference between simply living and living well. When we talk about a surgeon-approved approach to exercise for adults over 60, and we're talking about something far deeper than just safety, it's about understanding how the human body truly changes with age and how to move in harmony with those changes. Surgeons, especially orthopedic and cardiovascular specialists, see the effects of decades of motion and strain every day. They see which joints wear down, which tendons tear most often, which habits lead to injury, and which simple routines protect the body for decades longer than expected. Their advice always points to one truth: the best exercises are the ones that strengthen and protect without punishment. After 60, the body is not fragile, it's wise. Every muscle, every bone, every tendon remembers a lifetime of movement, both good and bad. Years of walking, sitting, bending, or carrying have carved patterns into your posture and balance. The surgeon's perspective starts with respect for those patterns. The goal is not to erase them, but to guide the body towards stability and strength with movements that restore alignment instead of forcing it. A surgeon-approved exercise is one that strengthens muscles evenly, protects the joints, and improves blood circulation without aggravating past injuries. Many people in their 60s begin to experience stiffness, limited mobility, and mild chronic pain, not because of disease, but because of muscle imbalance. One side of the body compensates for the other, often from years of uneven movement. Surgeons emphasize exercises that correct this imbalance: symmetrical, controlled, low-impact movements that bring balance back to both sides of the body. This prevents uneven stress on joints, which is one of the leading causes of cartilage erosion and joint replacement later in life. A crucial part of this approach is protecting the knees and hips, two areas most surgeons see in their operating rooms every week. Walking, though beneficial, repeatedly loads these joints in a narrow range of motion. Over time, that repetitive stress without enough muscular support can wear down the soft tissue between bones. Exercises like seated leg raises, wall-supported squats, and heel lifts allow the surrounding muscles, quadriceps, glutes, and calves to carry more of the load, reducing the impact directly on the joints. This helps maintain cartilage integrity and reduces inflammation. Surgeons also emphasize the importance of controlled motion rather than speed. The slower the movement, the safer and more effective it becomes. This is because slow, deliberate movement activates stabilizer muscles, those small, often forgotten fibers that hold the body together during everyday actions. When these stabilizers weaken, you see falls, joint misalignment, and tendon injuries. When they strengthen, the body becomes more resilient, even during sudden movements. The surgeon's philosophy here is clear: precision protects. Every movement should feel intentional, with focus on how your body responds in real time. Another part of the surgeon-approved method is understanding how the heart and lungs react to effort. Cardiac surgeons often note that people over 60 benefit most from short bursts of low-impact exertion rather than long, continuous strain. Movements that engage large muscle groups like wall push-ups, gentle squats, or arm raises stimulate circulation and heart rate safely, without the cardiovascular spikes that long-distance walking or jogging can cause. The result is improved endurance and oxygen efficiency without overtaxing the heart. Joint alignment is another priority in this kind of program. When bones and joints are not properly aligned, every step, every bend adds microscopic friction inside the body. Over time, that friction becomes inflammation, and inflammation leads to degeneration. Surgeon-approved exercises are designed to reinforce alignment through gentle muscle engagement. For example, standing with a wall behind you and slowly sliding into a semi-squat engages the thighs and hips in a way that teaches your body to track correctly, knees over toes, hips balanced, back neutral. This retrains the body's natural mechanics so that future movement, even simple walking, becomes more efficient and less damaging. Surgeons also stress the role of flexibility, not in the way of extreme stretching, but through mobility. Mobility means moving a joint through its natural range without forcing it. Shoulder rolls, ankle circles, and gentle torso rotations restore circulation to the joints, nourish them with synovial fluid, and prevent stiffness from turning into immobility. This kind of movement is especially vital after surgery or injury recovery, when scar tissue or muscle guarding can restrict motion. Gentle daily mobility work ensures that every tissue stays alive, hydrated, and functional. Equally important is balance training. A surgeon knows that one of the greatest risks to health after 60 is not disease but falling. A single fall can change the course of a person's life. Exercises that challenge balance, like standing on one foot near a support or shifting weight from heel to toe, strengthen the neural connections between your brain, muscles, and inner ear. This keeps your reflexes sharp and teaches your body to recover from stumbles before they become falls. In the eyes of a surgeon, this is not fitness, it's prevention at its highest form. Another component often overlooked is the preservation of bone density. As bones lose minerals with age, they become more brittle. Walking provides minimal loading to the bones. It maintains density but doesn't improve it. Surgeon-approved movements incorporate gentle resistance body weight, small hand weights, or even resistance bands to stimulate osteoblast activity, the bone-building cells. When muscles contract under mild load, they pull gently on bones, sending a signal for them to stay strong. Over time, this slows bone loss and reduces fracture risk. The surgeon's mindset also values recovery as much as effort. After 60, the tissues of the body repair more slowly. This means that proper breathing, hydration, and rest between sessions are just as crucial as the exercises themselves. Deep breathing during movement oxygenates the blood, aiding tissue repair. Gentle stretching afterward maintains elasticity. Even the timing of exercise, preferably in the morning, when joints are warmer and muscles more pliable, reflects the surgeon's focus on minimizing strain while maximizing benefit. Another key detail lies in how these exercises are sequenced. Surgeons often recommend starting with large, stable movements before progressing to smaller, balance-based ones. This ensures that the major muscles are engaged first, giving support to the joints before introducing more delicate work. For instance, one might begin with wall push-ups to activate the upper body, then progress to heel raises for the calves, followed by seated leg lifts for the thighs. This logical sequence mirrors how physical therapists structure rehabilitation plans. Perhaps the most defining trait of a surgeon-approved approach is its adaptability. There is no one-size-fits-all. Each person's body tells a different story. Old injuries, surgeries, habits, or postural tendencies. The idea is to meet the body where it is today. If your knees hurt, strengthen your hips and glutes first. If your shoulders ache, start with mobility before resistance. If your back tightens easily, focus on the core. The exercises adapt to your needs, not the other way around. That philosophy of respect for the individual body is at the core of medical guidance for safe, effective longevity. And finally, surgeons understand the emotional side of exercise, the fear of re-injury, the hesitation to push, the uncertainty of what's safe. A good routine must be built around reassurance and progress you can feel. The exercises are not tests, they are lessons. Each repetition teaches your body how to move better, how to protect itself, and how to heal from years of neglect or overuse. Through gentle resistance, controlled pace, and total awareness, you rediscover not just strength, but the confidence to move without fear again. When you hear the word core, it's easy to imagine only the abdominal muscles, the visible front section that most people think of when they picture strength. But in truth, the core is far more than the stomach. It is a deep network of muscles, tendons, and connective tissue that wraps around the body like an internal corset, beginning beneath the ribs and extending down to the hips and pelvis. It includes not only the abs, but also the back muscles, obliques, pelvic floor, and even parts of the diaphragm. Together, these structures form the foundation for every single movement the body makes. And after the age of 60, this foundation becomes the key to maintaining posture, stability, and a sense of youthful vitality. The human spine, though strong, is like a tower supported by cables. When those cables, the core muscles, begin to weaken, the tower starts to tilt. Shoulders round forward, the lower back arches or collapses, and the neck juts out of alignment. This subtle shift in posture affects more than just appearance. It directly influences breathing, digestion, circulation, and even mood. Many older adults who complain of back pain or fatigue are not suffering from disease, but from poor posture brought on by years of weakened core stability. Strengthening this inner network is not about building muscle mass. It's about reclaiming structural integrity. Posture is the language the body uses to communicate with itself. Every time you stand, sit, or move, your posture tells your muscles where to activate and where to rest. A strong core ensures that this communication remains clear. When the core is weak, the body compensates by overusing other muscles, particularly in the neck, shoulders, and lower back. This creates stiffness, pain, and eventually misalignment. When the core is strong, movement becomes efficient again. The spine stands tall, the shoulders relax back into place, and the body redistributes its weight evenly, easing pressure on the joints. Core strength also plays a silent but vital role in balance. The body's ability to stay upright, especially during movement, depends not only on the legs or feet, but also on the central stability of the torso. Every step, every twist, every reach begins from the center. When you walk, your core controls how the pelvis tilts, how the spine rotates, and how the upper body follows through. If that central coordination is weak, balance becomes shaky, and the risk of falling increases. Exercises that gently activate the core, such as standing marches, seated knee lifts, or controlled torso turns, train the body to stabilize itself instinctively, even when you're not consciously thinking about it. Another remarkable aspect of the core posture connection lies in breathing. The diaphragm, which sits just beneath the lungs, is a core muscle too. When posture collapses forward, the diaphragm can't expand fully, restricting the breath. Shallow breathing follows, leading to less oxygen in the blood, slower circulation, and a constant feeling of fatigue. By strengthening the core and keeping the spine upright, you create space for deep, natural breathing. This oxygen-rich rhythm doesn't just energize the body, it calms the mind, supports digestion, and improves heart health. Each deep breath becomes a form of internal massage, improving blood flow through the abdominal organs and promoting healing at the cellular level. Digestion itself is also closely linked to posture. When the body slumps, abdominal pressure increases, slowing down the digestive process and sometimes causing discomfort, bloating, or reflux. Standing and sitting upright with a strong core allows the digestive organs to rest naturally in the abdominal cavity, encouraging smoother movement of food through the system. Many seniors who struggle with digestive issues find relief simply by improving posture and strengthening their midsection rather than changing diet or medication. The internal space created by good posture allows every system, respiratory, digestive, and circulatory, to function in harmony. A strong core supports more than physical health. It influences emotional well-being as well. The way you carry yourself sends constant feedback to the brain. When you stand tall, the nervous system interprets that alignment as confidence and safety. When you slouch, it reads fatigue or stress. Over time, posture becomes an emotional habit as much as a physical one. Rebuilding core strength retrains both the body and the brain to associate upright posture with calmness, vitality, and strength. You begin to move through life with quiet confidence, not because of vanity, but because the body is returning to its natural balanced state. From a musculoskeletal standpoint, posture also determines how efficiently your body moves through space. Imagine a door that hangs slightly crooked on its hinges. It may open, but it takes effort and creaks each time. The same is true for your spine and joints when alignment is off. A strong core pulls the spine back into balance, reducing the strain on the knees, hips, and lower back. Over time, this reduces wear and tear on cartilage and discs, slowing the degenerative processes that often lead to pain or limited mobility. The body moves more freely, with less resistance, because the weight of each step or bend is distributed evenly along the skeletal frame. Core strength is not achieved through heavy training or high intensity. It's built through awareness and control. Gentle, precise exercises like seated leg lifts, pelvic tilts, or slow torso rotations engage the deeper stabilizers that traditional ab workouts often ignore. These deeper muscles, such as the transverse abdominis and multifidus, act like an internal brace. They activate before every motion, preparing the body to move safely. By practicing controlled breathing during each movement, you enhance this connection, exhaling as you engage the core, inhaling as you release. This coordination of breath and muscle creates a kind of internal rhythm, like the quiet hum of balance running through the body. Surgeons and rehabilitation experts often point out that posture doesn't just affect the spine, it affects circulation as well. When you slouch, blood and lymph flow are partially restricted through the torso, the chest cavity compresses, and the heart must work harder to push blood upward to the head and downward to the legs. Standing or sitting tall opens up the chest and allows the heart to circulate blood more efficiently. Over time, this improves circulation, enhances healing, supports memory and focus, and even reduces inflammation throughout the body. A tall posture, supported by a strong core, literally allows the body to breathe and move more freely from the inside out. Even the smallest adjustments in posture can bring immediate relief. When the head aligns directly over the shoulders instead of jutting forward, tension in the neck begins to dissolve. When the shoulders are gently drawn back and the chest expands, breathing deepens naturally. When the lower abdomen gently engages to support the spine, pressure in the lower back eases. These shifts may seem subtle, but together they transform the way the body carries its own weight. The act of sitting, standing, or walking becomes lighter, more fluid, and less tiring. The connection between core and posture is also deeply tied to longevity. Studies on healthy aging consistently show that people who maintain upright posture into their later years not only move better, but also think more clearly. That's because posture affects blood flow to the brain, keeping it oxygenated and alert. Balance, coordination, and even reaction time improve when the spine is aligned and the core is strong. This internal stability acts as the body's own safety system, ensuring that every movement, whether walking, lifting, or turning, happens with grace and security. Over time, as you strengthen your core and retrain your posture, your body begins to feel lighter. Tasks that once seemed tiring, standing for long periods, bending to pick something up, walking upstairs, become manageable again. You start to trust your body's strength. Pain that once felt chronic begins to fade because the body is now supported as nature intended. The spine stands tall, the organs have space, the breath moves freely, and the body rediscovers its balance. The quiet miracle of this process is that it doesn't just improve how you look or move, it changes how you feel inside your own body, one breath and one gentle motion at a time. The concept of the 5 better than walking formula isn't meant to dismiss the importance of walking, it's meant to complete it. Walking is an excellent foundation for movement, but like the frame of a house, it needs structure and support to keep it strong. This formula is that structure, built around 5 simple yet profoundly effective exercises that target the parts of the body walking often neglects. They are designed to be safe, low impact, and easy to do anywhere, requiring only your body, a wall, and the intention to move with purpose. These 5 movements, slow squats, wall push-ups, heel raises, seated leg lifts, and shoulder rolls, work together like a well-tuned orchestra, each one awakening a different group of muscles that help restore balance, strength, and stability as you age. The first and most important exercise in the formula is the slow squat. It is one of the most functional movements a human being can perform because it mirrors what you do dozens of times each day, sitting down and standing up. A properly performed slow squat trains the largest muscles in your body, the quadriceps, glutes, and hamstrings. But it also trains coordination, joint control, and balance. The slow tempo is key. By lowering yourself gradually and rising with control, you engage both strength and stability. Each motion reminds your nervous system how to manage your body's weight evenly through your feet and hips. For people over 60, this is critical because it builds confidence in movement while gently protecting the knees and hips. The squat also activates the core and teaches proper spinal alignment, two factors that improve posture and reduce back strain. Done daily, even 10 gentle squats can transform how you sit, stand, and walk. The second movement in the sequence is the wall push-up, a variation that provides all the benefits of an upper body workout without the strain of floor push-ups. By pressing against the wall, you activate the muscles of the chest, shoulders, and arms while also engaging the core to keep the body aligned. What makes wall push-ups so effective is their accessibility. You can do them anywhere, and they allow you to control intensity simply by stepping closer or farther from the wall. For older adults, this movement reawakens the upper body, an area often neglected during walking routines. It strengthens the arms used for daily lifting and stabilizes the shoulder joints, reducing stiffness and improving reach. It also promotes better circulation to the chest and shoulders, areas where tightness from posture or inactivity can restrict breathing and mobility. Next comes the heel raise, a deceptively simple yet powerful exercise for the lower legs. As you lift your heels and balance briefly on the balls of your feet, the calf muscles engage deeply, improving both strength and blood flow. This movement also enhances ankle flexibility and stability, which are crucial for balance and fall prevention. The calves act like secondary pumps for circulation. When they contract, they push blood upward toward the heart, helping prevent swelling and heaviness in the legs. Heel raises can be done anywhere, while brushing your teeth, standing in line, or holding the back of a chair for support. When performed slowly and consistently, they build resilience in the ankles and feet, the body's most vital connection to the ground. Many surgeons and physiotherapists recommend them as one of the most valuable exercises for maintaining mobility into later life. The fourth exercise, seated leg lifts, focuses on strengthening the quadriceps and hip flexors without putting pressure on the joints. While sitting upright in a chair, simply lifting one leg at a time helps to engage the muscles that support walking, stair climbing, and standing up. It may seem small, but these lifts restore strength where it often fades, first the front of the thighs. Over time, these muscles can weaken from long periods of sitting, leading to instability when rising from chairs or climbing steps. Seated leg lifts rebuild this foundation safely, even for those with knee discomfort or arthritis. They also gently work the abdominal muscles, improving core strength and posture. By alternating legs, you train coordination and stimulate circulation through the lower body, helping reduce stiffness and swelling. The fifth movement, shoulder rolls, completes the formula by addressing tension and circulation in the upper body. As people age, especially those who spend more time sitting, the shoulders often round forward and the chest tightens. This restricts breathing and puts strain on the neck and upper back. Gentle shoulder rolls forward and backward help loosen these tight areas and restore fluidity to the shoulder joints. When combined with deep breathing, shoulder rolls also release built-up tension from the neck to the spine, improving posture almost instantly. These movements may appear minor, but they carry immense value. They reawaken the upper body's mobility, allowing better arm reach, smoother neck rotation, and an overall sense of openness across the chest. What makes these 5 exercises superior to walking alone is not intensity, it's intelligence. Each movement targets an area of the body that walking leaves underused. Together, they create a balanced system that addresses strength, flexibility, coordination, and circulation all at once. The slow squats build lower body power. Wall push-ups fortify the upper body. Heel raises improve stability and circulation. Seated leg lifts enhance functional strength. And shoulder rolls release tension while improving posture. None of these exercises require high effort, but each one contributes to long-term health in a specific, complementary way. Another unique aspect of the 5 Better Than Walking formula is that it engages the entire kinetic chain, the body's natural connection from head to toe. For instance, when you perform a slow squat, you engage not only the legs but also the spine, core, and shoulders to maintain balance. When you do a wall push-up, your arms and chest work in concert with your abdominal muscles and legs to stabilize your body. This coordination trains your nervous system to move as a unified whole rather than as isolated parts. That's what makes this routine functional and transformative. It doesn't just strengthen muscles, it retrains the body's instinct for movement. The formula also encourages mindfulness. something rarely discussed in exercise programs. Because each movement is slow and deliberate, you must focus on alignment, breathing, and control. This concentration builds body awareness, knowing how your joints and muscles feel, how your weight shifts, and how your breath supports your effort. Over time, this awareness carries into daily life. You begin to notice your posture while sitting, your gait while walking, and your balance while standing still. That awareness prevents injury before it happens and fosters a sense of connection between your mind and your body. In addition to physical strength, these exercises improve internal health. The slow squats and heel raises stimulate circulation in the legs, aiding venous return and preventing pooling of blood that often causes swelling or varicose veins. The seated leg lifts and wall push-ups promote better core engagement and breathing mechanics, improving oxygen flow throughout the body. Shoulder rolls relieve upper body stiffness, reducing pressure on the lungs and allowing for deeper, more efficient breaths. Together, they create a full body routine that supports not only muscular endurance, but also cardiovascular and respiratory function. From a medical perspective, these exercises embody the principles of joint preservation. They maintain range of motion, strengthen supporting muscles, and encourage fluid movement of synovial joints, the body's natural shock absorbers. When performed regularly, they reduce stiffness, delay degenerative changes, and improve joint lubrication. Unlike running or other high-impact forms of exercise, this approach minimizes strain while maximizing functional benefit. It's why surgeons and physiotherapists alike favor these types of movements for older adults recovering from injury or surgery. They rebuild strength safely, gradually, and effectively. The 5 better than walking formula also fits seamlessly into daily life. You don't need to change clothes, schedule gym sessions, or find special equipment. You can do slow squats while waiting for the kettle to boil, heel raises while standing at the counter, and shoulder rolls while sitting at your desk. Consistency is the key. It's the small daily habits that create lasting transformation. With time, these 5 movements enhance how you move, how you breathe, and how your body feels each day. They work as a silent maintenance system, preserving your vitality long after walking alone would have reached its limit. When it comes to exercise after 60, one principle matters more than all others: consistency. The body at this stage no longer responds well to bursts of heavy effort, followed by long gaps of rest. It thrives on rhythm, on gentle daily movement that signals to every muscle, bone, and cell that life is still flowing through them. The phrase consistency over intensity captures this truth perfectly. It's not about how hard you work once in a while, but how regularly you move each day that shapes your long-term strength, flexibility, and balance. The older body, much like an engine that's run for decades, performs best when it's kept warm, steady, and in motion, not when it's pushed to extremes and then left idle. After 60, the recovery process slows naturally, muscles take longer to repair, joints need more lubrication, and the nervous system needs more time to adapt to stress. That's why high-intensity exercise can sometimes do more harm than good. A sudden, forceful routine may cause microscopic tears in muscles and tendons that take weeks to heal. In contrast, gentle, consistent movement teaches the body endurance. It builds strength from repetition rather than shock. Each small, regular effort sends a message of stability to the body. We are maintaining, we are steady, we are alive. This rhythm becomes a kind of biological habit, a quiet pulse that keeps the systems of the body in harmony. The beauty of consistency is that it multiplies results without increasing risk. Doing 5 or 10 minutes of exercise every day is more beneficial than doing an hour once a week. The body doesn't store the benefits of movement, it thrives on continuity. Every time you move, even lightly, blood flow improves, oxygen reaches deeper tissues, and the nervous system recalibrates coordination. These subtle daily repetitions accumulate like drops of water filling a vessel. Over time, you notice that walking feels easier, stiffness lessens, balance returns, and even your breathing deepens. The consistency of movement creates a compounding effect that intensity can never match. Consistency also rewires the brain. The older body depends on neural pathways, the invisible circuits that control coordination and reflexes. When you move regularly, these pathways remain active, sharp, and efficient. But when movement is sporadic, the pathways weaken and the body's natural rhythm fades. That's why daily exercise, even when light, doesn't just keep muscles strong, it keeps the mind alert and connected to motion. Each repetition, each controlled squat, arm raise, or balance hold becomes a signal to the brain that the body is still adaptable. The more consistent the practice, the more confident and graceful the movement becomes. This philosophy extends to energy as well. Many people over 60 struggle with fatigue and assume they must rest more. But often, it's not rest the body needs, it's steady circulation. Movement increases oxygen delivery and helps flush out metabolic waste that causes heaviness or tiredness. When you move a little every day, mitochondria, the powerhouses of your cells, stay active and efficient. They learn to use oxygen better, producing more energy and less fatigue. Intense bursts of activity, on the other hand, can exhaust these systems, leaving you drained instead of energized. Gentle consistency keeps them humming like a well-tuned instrument. Another essential part of consistency is joint health. Cartilage, the smooth tissue that cushions joints, has no blood vessels of its own. It depends entirely on motion for nourishment. When you move regularly, synovial fluid flows through the joints, delivering nutrients and removing waste. This daily lubrication keeps them supple and reduces pain. But long gaps in activity allow stiffness to set in, and stiffness invites degeneration. That's why the key isn't to move hard, it's to move often. Even 5 minutes of stretching or light exercise can make the difference between stiffness and fluidity. The joints respond to rhythm, not resistance. Consistency also cultivates emotional stability. Regular movement creates a predictable cycle of endorphin release, which naturally boosts mood and reduces anxiety. For older adults, this steady emotional rhythm can be as important as physical strength. When exercise becomes a daily ritual, something you do at the same time, in the same quiet space, it grounds the mind. It turns movement into meditation. The body begins to associate motion with calm, not strain. That psychological shift often leads to deeper commitment, because the exercise no longer feels like a chore but like nourishment. Surgeons and rehabilitation specialists emphasize that the most successful recoveries come from patients who follow this principle of consistency. After surgery, the body doesn't heal from rest alone, it heals through gradual, controlled motion. The same rule applies to aging. Muscles that move regularly receive better blood flow, bones that bear gentle daily weight remain denser, and connective tissues stay elastic. The nervous system, which governs balance and coordination, becomes sharper with repetition. Each day's movement builds on the last, creating momentum that becomes self-sustaining. Consistency also teaches patience, which is essential for sustainable fitness. In a world obsessed with quick results, it's easy to underestimate the quiet power of small daily actions. But the body doesn't measure progress in days, it measures it in habits. When you repeat a movement enough times, your muscles memorize it. That's how coordination improves, posture straightens, and endurance builds. A single intense session can exhaust the body, but 100 small deliberate sessions reshape it. The difference is that consistency asks for presence, not performance. It's about showing up each day, even when motivation fades, because the body depends on rhythm more than enthusiasm. Another overlooked advantage of consistent exercise is how it balances the hormones that govern metabolism and stress. Regular moderate activity regulates insulin, reduces cortisol, and keeps blood sugar levels stable. High-intensity workouts can spike stress hormones, especially in older adults, which can actually slow metabolism and interfere with recovery. Gentle, daily movement maintains balance in the endocrine system, leading to better sleep, digestion, and mood. Over time, this balance shows in the form of steadier energy, clearer thinking, and more resilience to physical and emotional stress. Consistency is also kinder to the heart. A steady, daily increase in heart rate from low-impact movement conditions the cardiovascular system without overloading it. The arteries stay flexible, blood pressure stabilizes, and circulation improves. When effort is moderate but regular, the heart learns efficiency, it pumps more with less strain. Intense or infrequent workouts, however, can cause spikes in blood pressure or heart rate variability, stressing the system unnecessarily. The body, like a clock, prefers steady ticking to erratic bursts. From a practical standpoint, consistency eliminates one of the greatest barriers to healthy aging: inertia. The hardest part of movement is starting, and the easiest way to start is to never stop. When you make exercise part of your daily routine, like brushing your teeth or brewing your morning tea, it becomes automatic. The mind no longer negotiates with the body each day. There's no question of, should I exercise today? You simply do it because it's part of your rhythm. This automatic consistency transforms willpower into habit and habit into longevity. The consistency over intensity mindset also allows for flexibility. If you wake up tired or sore one morning, you don't need to skip movement, you simply adjust it. Instead of squats, you do seated leg lifts. Instead of a brisk walk, you do shoulder rolls or gentle stretching. The act of maintaining the habit, even in lighter form, keeps the neural and muscular pathways active. It prevents regression and protects your progress. This adaptability is what makes the practice sustainable for years, even decades. Ultimately, consistency keeps the body young in the truest sense. Muscles that move every day retain tone and elasticity. Joints that bend and flex stay nourished. The heart that pumps regularly grows efficient. The mind that connects to the body through daily awareness stays sharp. Every small act of movement becomes a declaration of vitality, a quiet statement that aging is not decline but adaptation. With steady, mindful repetition, the body doesn't wear out. It learns how to last.